you and me. The grass is growing green for as far as you can see. As far as you can see, there's magic in the change. There's water in the Todd once again. Our women worn and drained by the harshness of the land, but today the desert blooms and the blossoms cover the sand. The dead heart is alive, feel it in your veins. There's water in the Todd once again. And we've all taken the strain. There were kids 7 years old who'd never seen rain, and the wives tightened the belt and felt the pain. Thought they'd never see a flower bloom again. But it's flowing in the Todd, and it's there in every tree. And the desert's come alive, and the green is something to see. Enjoy it while you can, it may never be the same. There's water in the Todd once again. Never realise when the sun is blazing down, the river Todd can rise in the dead centre of town. The dead centre of town, in that endless bed of sand, as dry as all the rest of the land. Then the rain comes pouring down and it drenches all your clothes. You stand and soak and laugh, it's a feeling everyone knows. A feeling everyone knows when you thank the Lord for rain. There's water in the Todd once again. And we've all taken the strain. Kids 7 years old, never seen rain, and the wives tightened the belt and felt the pain. They thought they'd never see a flower bloom again. It's flowing in the Todd, it's there in every tree. The desert's come alive, and the green is something to see. Enjoy it while you can, it may never be the same. There's water flowing free in the Todd once again.
Fella's got the crossword puzzle. He said to his friend, "What is 4 letters and old MacDonald had one?" His friend says, "Oh God, it's a farm. It's a farm. Old MacDonald had a farm. It's a farm." "Oh," he said, "thank you. How do you spell it?" He said, E-I-E-I-O. Two Irish fellas once said, "Do you want the bad news first or the good news first?" He said, "Oh, you'd better give me the bad news." "Well, the bad news is the English have landed on the moon." "Oh, God," he said, "what's the good news?" "All of them." Young couple come out of a supermarket, see, and they're walking along, and the wife happens to glance in the pram. She said, "My God, Michael, it's the wrong child." He said, "Shut up, it's a better pram." Fella comes home early from work, walks in, and there's his wife locked in a fond embrace with a total stranger. Well, it's a stranger to the fella anyway. He doesn't say a word. He goes straight past, over to the chest of drawers, takes out a gun. So he unwraps it from the silk wrappings, cocks it, sticks it to his own temple. And his wife said, "Patrick, for God's sake." He said, "Shut your trap, woman. You're next." This American fellow has brought his little son back to the land of his fathers. You see, he's come back to where his great-great-grandfather set off from Connemara years ago, and he's got back there, and it's as boring as old rope to him. He's from a big city in America, and he doesn't know what to do. He's in this little hotel right on the sea on the far side of Ireland there, nothing happening. And the second day there, he looks out the window, and it's a weekend, and he sees this fellow with a string of donkeys walking up and down the beach. So he thinks, give the kid a ride on the donkey. So he takes the kid down, goes up to the fella and said, say, can you hire these donkeys? The fella said, oh, you can, sir. There's a little screw under the saddle. Two ducks crossing the road in Belfast, and the first one said, quack, quack, and the second one said, I'm going as quack as I can. Anyway, listen, I'm in the middle of telling these stories, and all of a sudden there's like a strangled roar from the back of the theatre. I thought it was somebody being sick. It was like, and I looked, and I could see this fella standing up. He was a big bloke, and there were no steps on this theatre. It was like a sloping walkway down the centre of the theatre. And he came in a shambling run down this walkway, came at me with a razor. I mean, luckily it wasn't plugged in. It could have been really nasty, you know. Anyway, so no Irish stories tonight, okay? So there's these two Albanians, and they've shot a deer in the forest, illegal, not allowed to do it, see, poaching. And they're dragging it back surreptitiously, back to where they've got the car hidden in the bushes. And this fella steps out from behind a tree and he said, excuse me. And the first Albanian said, what is it? He said, no, you're not in any trouble. I'm not a game warden or anything, but look, I've done a bit of poaching in my time. You're doing it all wrong. See, you're dragging it by the front legs. And I mean, the antlers are facing forwards. I've been watching you. They're getting caught in every branch and bush and every stick. And get onto the hind legs. I mean, by the very shape and the nature of the leg, there's a bit of spring in it, a bit of give. It's easier to pull. And on top of that, the antlers are facing the other way and they'll drag through everything without the points getting caught. It's logical. It's obvious. And the second Albanian said, oh, thanks very much. So they get on the hind legs and they're dragging away, and after a while the first Albanian said, Jesus, Michael, 'tis not working at all. And the other Albanian said, why is that, Patrick? He said, we're getting further away from the car every minute. Two Irish fellas discussing their working hours, and one said, oh, God, he said, I start at 6 in the morning, I finish at 6 at night. I'm doing a 12-hour day. It's nearly killing me, a 12-hour day. His friend said, that's nothing. I start at 7 in the morning, finish at 7 at night. A 14-hour day. Do you remember when Freddie Truman was at the height of his career? Demon bowler he was. And there was a match, Yorkshire versus the Gentlemen Players up from London. Well, just the name was enough to put them off, the Gentlemen Players. So Freddie Truman comes down with his first ball. It's like a thunderbolt, takes the fella's middle stump out. He never even saw it. Goes bouncing up the corridor. And he's clean bowled, see? So he's put the bat under his arm, taking his gloves off. As he walks back down the pitch, he passes Freddie Truman and he said, in that infuriating plummy accent, jolly good ball, my man. And Freddie Truman said, I know it were, but it were wasted on thee. Anybody here from Wagga Wagga? I keep asking and nobody's ever from Wagga, but that's amazing because as a kid, in school in Perth in Western Australia, Wagga Wagga used to be my nemesis because I couldn't work it out. Because as you know, it was written Wagga Wagga, pronounced Wagga Wagga. And I wasn't being a pest, I wanted to know. And you know what teachers are like when they don't know the answer, they shout at you, be quiet, Harris! But sir, yes, so surely if they'd wanted it to be pronounced Wagga Wagga, they would have written it W-O-G. Harris, how many times have I got it? Anyway, I never got any sense out of them. And it wasn't until we went to Wagga the first time, what's about 8 years ago now, we went there and the whole thing was revealed because there was this little kid waiting for us and he'd broken his arm and he had his arm in plaster and a sling and we all had to sign his plaster and he was so excited and he was talking 19 to the dozen and I'm listening to him and I realised that, well, judging by the way he was talking anyway, that apparently in Wagga Wagga the at sound and the ot sound, they seem to be completely interchangeable. because he was telling us about this little dag that he had, this little dachshund dag. It was an ordinary little black and white dag. And it was wandering along one day, quite hoppily, the dag, wagging its tail, as dags will. And suddenly this wasp has come down and zopped him right in the tap of the backside, and the bloomin' dag went mod. And he's run across, and he's attacked this capper. Talk about a scrop. The capper's grobbed the dag, and he's slopping him around the chaps, and the dag is yopping and happing and snopping at the capper's onkles, and he's ripped all his jocket packet, and he's torn all the bottom of his slocks and the back of his sacks. Wat a scrop, wat a bloomin' bottle. And on top of that, he called me Ralph Horace all day, yeah. This little kid meets a pirate, and he looks like a genuine pirate. He's got a wooden leg. He's got a hook where his right hand used to be. Got a patch where his left eye used to be. And the little kid says to him, "Are you a real pirate?"
"I am, son."
How did you lose your leg and have to wear a wooden leg?"
"Well, a cannonball took the mast off and that fell, crushed me leg, and I had to have the leg amputated out at sea, son. No anaesthetic in those days. They give me a big bottle of whiskey to drink, whacked me on the head with a bit of wood, and sawed it off with a saw. And I come to in the middle of it. Talk about painful. Oh, dear. And then they had to dip that wound into burning pitch to cauterise the wound. Talk about sore, son. Full. But I got over it, and they fitted that wooden leg, and I've got a little leather patch there to take the weight of it, and a strap wrapped to a belt round my waist, and I get about quite handsome. "How did you lose your hand and have to wear a hook?" "Well, that was another matter, son. I was having a fight with a Spanish pirate, just off the Azores it was, and all of a sudden he's done the cutlass thrust, and I see me hand flipping about on the deck, still holding the sword. It was a terrible shock, son. But I looked across and I see that he was also sort of mesmerised by seeing that hand on the deck. So while he was watching it, I stood on my own thumb, took the sword with my left hand and ran the pirate through. I got out of it, but I've lost my hand, and I had to cauterise that with a burning tar, and they made the metal hook and the strap round my shoulders, but I can grab things quite handsome with that, son." "How did you lose your eye?" "That's another story altogether. Big seagull flying overhead, he messed right in my eye, son." "But that wouldn't cause you to lose your eye." "That would if it's the first day you was wearing your hook."